On the horizon, an unstoppable force was advancing. The most powerful and feared empire of its time came to demand submission. The walls of Jerusalem fell. The gates were destroyed. The temple was desecrated. Princes were chained and taken to distant lands, far from everything they knew. Among them walked a young man, with no army, no throne, unaware that his name would cross centuries. Daniel. The sky over Jerusalem was heavy. Smoke rose among broken columns, and the distant sound of metal against stone echoed through the devastated streets. Gates had been breached, walls torn down, and the people walked in silence, surrounded by foreign soldiers. The temple, which had once been a symbol of the presence of the Most High, was now being looted. Sacred objects were being taken away like mere trophies of war, while the name of God seemed to fade away amidst the cries of the defeated. Among the young captives, there was a different kind of silence. Daniel walked with a firm gaze, even with his hands tied. Beside him, Hananias, Mishael, and Azarias tried to understand what their eyes were seeing. It wasn't just the loss of land, but the feeling that the known world had collapsed. Still, something remained intact within them.
Did you abandon us?
No. If we are still breathing, he is still in charge.
The march continued for days, crossing deserts and strange cities, until the gates of the great Babylon rose before them. Huge towers, wide walls, gods carved in stone and gold watched everything. Human power there did not hide, it showed itself. The young people were taken to the palace, where officials evaluated faces, bodies, and minds like choosing instruments. Aspenaz, chief of the officers, said,
"These will serve. They are strong, intelligent. The king wants them to learn our language, our customs, and to become like us."
New names were given, a new identity was imposed. What came from Judah was to be erased. Daniel heard his new name, but something inside him remained unchanged. That same night, trays with the king's food were placed before them. Meats sacrificed to idols, wine consecrated to false gods. The luxury carried contamination. Daniel looked at his friends and spoke in a low, determined voice.
I can't accept this.
If we refuse, we will die.
If we accept it, we will die inside.
They requested a meeting with the officer in charge. The man watched them impatiently.
Are you trying to challenge the king's order?
We are not asking for privilege, just that we be allowed not to infect ourselves. Try it. 10 days. Give us vegetables and water, then judge for yourself.
The officer hesitated. The risk was considerable, but something about the determination of that young man made him agree. The days passed. While others indulged in the excesses of the palace, Daniel and his friends remained simple, silent, faithful. On the 10th day, their faces were stronger, their eyes were more alive, their postures were firmer than the others.
How is this possible?
Murmured the officer, astonished. It wasn't possible for human eyes, but it wasn't man who ruled that story. Time moved forward. Babylon continued its routine of power and splendor. Daniel grew in wisdom, discernment, and grace before everyone. Something invisible accompanied him. While the palace corridors echoed conversations about gods and empires, the God of Israel remained silent but watchful. And then, on a restless night, the king of Babylon woke up gripped by fear. A dream had crossed his mind like a blade, a dream that no god seemed to explain. While Nebuchadnezzar sought answers, an invisible tension began to build. The future of the kingdoms was about to be unveiled, and Daniel did not yet know that he would be called to decipher what would shake empires. The palace awoke in tension. Servants walked briskly. Guards murmured amongst themselves, and doors were opened abruptly. Nebuchadnezzar had not slept. The dream still burned in his mind like an omen impossible to ignore. Something colossal had been revealed, and then removed from his memory. Only the terror remained.
Bring them all, mages, enchanters, wise men. I want answers.
The hall filled up quickly. Proud men, dressed with symbols of their gods, waited confidently. The king walked slowly in front of them.
I had a dream, and I demand that you tell me what I dreamed and what it means.
Silence fell like a stone.
O king, tell us the dream, then we will give you the interpretation.
Nebuchadnezzar's gaze hardened.
If they were truly wise, they would know. If they do not tell me the dream, they will die. If they do, they will receive honor and wealth.
Fear took over the hall. Whispers, restless footsteps, pale faces. One of them dared to speak again.
No man can do this, only the gods.
Before it was over, the king exploded.
Then they will all die.
The news spread quickly. Soldiers set out to execute the wise men of Babylon. The order made no exceptions. Daniel and his friends were included too. When Arioch, the chief of the guard, arrived at Daniel's place, he found something unexpected: calmness.
Why such a hurry to kill?
The king's order. He lost his patience and trust.
Daniel asked for time, a bold request. But something in his demeanor convinced the commander to take him to the king. Before Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel spoke with respect, but without fear.
Give me a little time. The answer will come.
The king watched him for a long time.
If it fails, you will die with the others.
That night, Daniel hurried back home. Got the friends together. The danger now was real and immediate.
We need to cry out. If God doesn't speak, we will all die.
They knelt down. There were no long speeches, just pleading. The silence seemed overwhelming. But while Babylon was asleep, something was moving beyond what could be seen. During the night, the answer came. The dream was revealed, every detail, every meaning. Daniel woke up before dawn with tearful eyes.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. He is the one who changes times and seasons. He is the one who removes kings and establishes kings.
Brought back to the palace, Daniel asked for the executions to be suspended. The hall was tense when he entered. The king looked at him suspiciously.
Can you tell me the dream?
No wise man can, but there is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries.
Then Daniel described the vision. The large statue, the head of gold, the chest of silver, the belly of bronze, the legs of iron, the feet mixed with clay. The king turned pale. Each word was precise.
You are the head of gold. After you, other kingdoms will rise. But one day, a stone not cut by human hands will destroy them all and establish an eternal kingdom.
The hall was still. The king's pride was broken by something greater than himself. Nebuchadnezzar stepped down from the throne and bowed before Daniel.
Truly, your God is the God of gods.
Daniel was praised. His friends got authority. But while Babylon celebrated, something greater was unfolding on the horizon. The dream did not speak only of that time. It spoke of the end. And silently, the stage began to be set for an even more severe test, where loyalty would be tested by fire. Time passed and Babylon started to breathe pride again. The impact of the dream had been real, but not lasting. The king raised a colossal golden statue, shining under the sun, visible from miles away. It was more than just a monumental work. It was a statement. Human power would not be replaced. The empire would not fall. The king had decided to turn the prophecy into a challenge. Heralds traveled the provinces announcing the decree.
At the sound of the trumpet, flute, and all the music, everyone must bow before the king's image. Those who do not bow will be thrown into the blazing furnace.
Authorities, governors, and people gathered. The field was filled with voices, colors, and tension. When the music echoed, a human wave bowed before the gold. But in the middle of the kneeling crowd, 3 figures remained standing. Some noticed, others pretended not to see, but the report did not take long.
O king, there are men who do not obey you. They do not bow down before the image.
Hananiah, Mishael, and Azarias were brought before Nebuchadnezzar. The king looked at them, trying to contain his fury.
It is true, if you do not bow down, you will die. Which God can deliver you from my hands?
The 3 exchanged a quick glance. There was no hesitation.
We do not need to defend ourselves. Our God can deliver us. But even if he does not, we will not serve your gods.
The king's face changed. The order was immediate.
Heat the furnace 7 times more.
Strong soldiers tied them up and led them to the fire. The heat was so intense that even the guards fell dead as they approached. The bodies of the young men vanished in the flames. The king watched, satisfied, until something changed.
Didn't we send 3 men?
Yes, O king.
So why do I see 4, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods?
The music stopped. The laughter died. The fire that consumed everything did not touch them. The ropes had fallen apart, but they remained unharmed, walking among the flames. The king stood up, filled with fear.
Come out, servants of the Most High God.
they left. No smell of smoke, no burnt hairs. The silence that followed was complete.
Blessed be their God. There is no one else who can deliver like this.
A new decree was announced. Honor was given, but while the people celebrated, something still needed to be addressed. The king's heart had been shaken, but not broken. The pride remained alive, hidden under words of reverence. And God, patient, prepared a final warning. A dream not to reveal kingdoms, but to reveal the king himself. The apparent peace returned to cover Babylon. The days were prosperous, and the king walked confidently between the columns and hanging gardens, contemplating the greatness of everything he had built. The flames of the furnace were now a distant memory, and the fear that had once visited him had given way to admiration for himself. At that time, Nebuchadnezzar had another dream. Unlike the first one, this did not disturb him immediately, but left a strange burden on your soul. He called the wise men again, but no one could explain what he had seen. Finally, Daniel was summoned. The king described the vision with restrained pride. A gigantic tree in the middle of the earth, tall, strong, visible to everyone. Its fruits fed people, its shade sheltered animals, and birds nested in its branches. But suddenly, a messenger came down from the sky and ordered, "Cut down the tree, scatter its branches, leave only the stump, bound with iron and bronze. Let the heart of the man be changed into the heart of an animal, until 7 times pass over him." Did Daniel remain silent? The king noticed.
Don't hide anything, even if it's against me.
Daniel took a deep breath. His voice was steady, but filled with sorrow.
My lord, hopefully this dream was for your enemies. The tree is you. You have grown. You became powerful. Your authority reached the ends of the earth. But the decree is this: you will be separated from men. You will live like an animal. You will eat grass until you recognize that the Most High rules over the kingdoms.
The king listened, serious.
Is there hope?
Yes, if you humble yourself. If you practice justice. If you recognize that power does not come from you.
The warning was given. The grace period started, but the months passed and nothing changed. One day, walking on the palace terrace, the king looked at the city below. The sun reflected on the gold, the walls, the temples.
Isn't this the great Babylon that I built with my power for the glory of my majesty?
The sentence had barely finished when the sky responded, "The kingdom has been taken from you," echoed an unseen voice. At that moment, the king's mind snapped. The power that ruled nations couldn't sustain his own ego. He was removed, lost his mind, and lived among the animals. His hair grew like feathers, his nails like claws. The king had become a shadow of what he once was. Days turned into seasons. Pride dissolved into the ground, until, at the appointed time, something changed. Nebuchadnezzar looked up to the sky. There were no speeches, just acknowledgement.
Now I know. He lives forever. His rule never ends.
Reason returned. The throne was restored, but the man was no longer the same. Before the assembled court, the king spoke with a different voice, without arrogance.
I exalt and glorify the King of the heavens. All his ways are just. He can humble those who walk in pride.
Babylon stood, but something had been broken. The pride of the greatest king on earth was humbled by the invisible hand that governs all. And as one reign slowly came to an end, another, marked by disdain and desecration, approached without realizing its final night was about to arrive. The city was celebrating. The walls remained intact, the gates were closed, and the enemy army seemed too far away to threaten the night. Inside the palace, the sound of clinking glasses mixed with loud laughter and blaring music. Belshazzar, now king, had ordered a grand banquet. 1,000 nobles were gathered, intoxicated not just by wine, but by a feeling of invulnerability.
Nothing can reach us. Babylon is eternal.
Belshazzar smiled, taken by audacity. His eyes wandered around the room until an idea occurred to him, provocative, blasphemous.
Bring the gold and silver utensils, those that my father took from the Jerusalem temple.
There was a brief silence, quickly broken by excitement. The sacred objects were brought and distributed. The wine was served in them. The sacred was reduced to an object of mockery.
Let us drink to the gods of gold, silver, bronze, and stone.
That's when the music stopped suddenly. A hand emerged, ethereal, standing out against the illuminated wall. There was no body, only fingers that wrote slowly with terrifying precision. The sound of nails scraping on the stone echoed in the hall. The laughter died. Belshazzar's face turned pale. His knees began to tremble.
Who can explain this?
Wise people were urgently summoned. None understood. None dared to pretend they understood. Panic spread. Then the Queen Mother entered the hall confidently.
"Oh, King, there is a man in your kingdom. In him is the spirit of the gods. In the days of your father, he revealed mysteries that no one else could."
Daniel was called. Already elderly, he entered without hurry. His eyes scanned the hall, the desecrated utensils, the drunken faces. There was no reverence in his gaze.
I heard that you can interpret.
If you do it, you will be honored.
Daniel answered without bowing.
Keep your talents, but I will read the writing. You knew what happened to your predecessor. You knew how the Almighty humbled him, yet you exalted yourself against him.
The silence was complete.
You used the sacred vessels to mock, and you did not glorify the God who supports your life. The writing is this: counted, weighed, and divided. Your kingdom has been counted. You have been read and found wanting. Your kingdom will be given away.
The sentence was immediate. Honors were given for formality, but the night was already sealed. As the banquet was still echoing, the city gates were opened by unseen paths. The enemy entered without resistance. The king was killed that same night. Babylon fell without battle, without glory, without any further warning. The next day, a new government was established. Once again, Daniel remained, silent, loyal. Amidst the changing thrones, he continued to serve a kingdom that could not be overtaken. But his loyalty would be tested one last time. And this time, not before drunken kings, but before hungry lions. The new government was established quickly. Dario took the throne amidst agreements and vigilance, reorganizing provinces and appointing administrators. Daniel, now elderly, was placed above the others. His integrity was known, his mind remained clear, and his loyalty was never tarnished. This aroused envy. Men gathered in secret, watching his steps, looking for faults that didn't exist.
We won't catch him in corruption. He is blameless.
So let's use his god.
A decree was drafted with an appearance of honoring the king.
For 30 days, nobody will make a petition to any god or any man except to you. Whoever disobeys will be thrown into the lion's den.
The king, flattered, signed without suspecting anything. The news spread. Daniel heard about the decree. He didn't argue. He didn't object. At dusk, he went up to the room, opened the windows facing Jerusalem, and knelt down, as he did every day.
Lord, in your hands I place my path.
It was seen, it was reported. Dario realized the trap too late. He tried to revoke the decree, but the law was irrevocable. The king summoned Daniel.
Can your God save you?
He is loyal.
Daniel was thrown into the pit. A stone was placed over the entrance. The king sealed it with his ring. That night was long. Dario did not eat or sleep. At dawn, he ran to the grave.
Daniel, was your God able to save you?
From the depths of darkness, the voice replied, firm.
O King, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths. Nothing happened to me.
The king ordered his immediate removal. Daniel came out unscathed, no mark, no injury. The accusers were thrown into the pit and did not touch the ground before being consumed. Dario issued a new decree, not out of fear, but out of recognition.
Throughout my kingdom, tremble before the God of Daniel. He lives, and his kingdom will not be destroyed.
The years went by, kings came and went. Daniel stayed, but now, no longer in high positions, spent long nights in prayer. It was then that the visions came. Beasts rising from the sea, kingdoms rising and falling, horns, wars, oppression. A son of man coming on the clouds, receiving eternal dominion. The weight was heavy.
Until when?
The response wasn't immediate. There was silence. There was waiting. Then came the voice.
Seal these words. Many will run back and forth, and knowledge will increase.
Daniel cried, not out of fear, but because of what he saw. The future was set. The suffering would come, but the end was also sealed. You will rest, said the voice, and you will rise to your inheritance at the end of days. Daniel remained silent. The world would keep spinning. Empires would still arise. But he knew. The eternal kingdom would not be shaken. And when the kingdoms of men ended, the God who governs history would be fully revealed.